October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, bringing education and other important aspects surrounding the disease to the forefront. There's also aspects surrounding treatment for the disease and other conditions that's important to women, and that's the clothing that they may need following surgery or other treatments. Both father and son duo, Dr. Robert White and entrepreneur Collin White, have worked to make essential science-backed garments with style and comfort for those patients recovering or receiving treatments that include chemotherapy, and even those with diabetes going through dialysis and digestive problems. Dr. White and Colin joins me today to discuss more need for this adaptive clothing and how it can help thousands of people. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Now, first, Dr. White, tell us what are some issues women with breast cancer are challenged with after treatment when it comes to clothing?
It certainly is a challenge after many kinds of surgery. I'm a surgeon myself and have taken care of literally hundreds and hundreds of patients with needs after surgery, in particular after breast cancer surgery. And those challenges are just finding clothes that you can wear, starting with coming home from the hospital. And when you come home from the hospital, you need to be comfortable, you're in pain, you have to have clothing that makes you feel well. And it's just a challenge many times. And so this is, we wanted to address those kinds of issues.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely needed. Now, Colin, as entrepreneur, how did you and your father collaborate and decide to focus on creating such garments for those with illnesses like breast cancer?
Yeah, well, it all started when I was working in commercial real estate in San Francisco, and my dad was actually going through surgery himself. And he was actually dealing with some of the challenges of managing a postoperative drain. So he was chatting with both my brother and dad. My brother is actually also a surgeon. And that's when we realized that there was a need for clothing to help, manage, catheters and drains. And so that's where we started our brand. It's called Stitches Medical, and it's adaptive apparel that has access and pockets and everything to be able to help the post-surgery chemotherapy or dialysis treatment process, make it much more comfortable. And for instance, the post-surgery, the way that the shirt is designed is that there's a Velcro front opening, there's so you can easily access your site, there's a large pocket on the inside where you can place your drain instead of having it tied or pinned to your body. And then you can also has access on the outside of the pocket, so you can even monitor the drain levels. And it just makes for a much more comfortable process. It's not like a gown at all. It's very comfortable. It's very stylish, and everything's antimicrobial just for the sake of, we don't want any kind of infection to spread. And so I jumped at the opportunity to start this business with my dad because frankly, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I wanted to do something that was altruistic, something that really helps people that are in critical need, and to do something good for this world.
Absolutely. And from what you described, this clothing is very beneficial, not just for the patients, but also for their caretakers as well. Now, Doctor, he described the clothing. Give us a little bit more about some of the other innovations you've applied to the adaptive clothing for those with medical issues.
Yes, we literally talked to dozens of my patients over a period of time, asking them what their experience was after surgery. These were patients, in particular, we're looking at breast cancer and the treatments around that. That includes chemotherapy, it includes radiation, which can make you feel sunburned or burned for a period of time and irritated from clothing. And so as we talked through all of that, we really found that people were looking for something that was comfortable, but while they were feeling ill, they also wanted to look good. And it kind of brought to our minds, there's a great proverb that says, a cheerful heart is good medicine. And we really wanted to focus on bringing that kind of cheer and people feeling good as they were facing a challenging issue in their lives. And so we developed these products. Obviously, since a pandemic, we've had people's having a much heightened awareness of infection. And that's why we have all of our clothing is organic and antimicrobial and designed to just maximize how you feel after having gone through surgery, whether that surgery is for breast cancer, as we're talking about, or whether it's you're having chemotherapy, or whether you are undergoing dialysis from kidney issues, or maybe you've got a drain from your diverticulitis. There's just so many areas that that patients and people face, and we try to cover a lot of that. I know one of the more recent innovations that Collin has produced is it's a shirt that's for people even with Alzheimer's who are getting forgetful, and so it's a bodysuit that's a camisole style or a polo shirt style that has simple snaps. So everything's designed to make it as easy as possible for the patient and for the caregiver.
That sounds really good. And just kudos to both of you for that attention to detail and going through, everything that you went through to make sure that the clothing is not only as comfortable as possible for the patients, but also as good as possible and useful as possible too, and that they feel good too. Like you said, it's stylish and they can feel their best, and that's definitely will boost their confidence, self-esteem, help them to, not be so depressed with what they're going through. So you're giving them hope, not only with feeling good, but also looking good as well during their time of treatments. And so thank you so much for that. Now,
We love hearing back from our patients. One of my favorite stories is one of my patients who said, I had a drain after my breast surgery and it was lasting longer than I thought. And the worst thing was that sometimes I'd roll over on my drain at night and pop the top of it off and it would spill on the bed and it would get this and I'd wake up and I was just disgusted by seeing this in the bed and have to change my sheets. And I hadn't expected people to be wearing the camisoles at night, for example. So she got a couple of the camisoles and would put her drain into the pocket at night, which would keep it close to her body. And she said, it's the best nightshirt ever. So we just love getting that kind of feedback from people because she said, I quit having the spills.
Well, and to elaborate on that point, it's when people wear it at night, even just going to the bathroom. I mean, sometimes the worry about when have a drain attached to your body is with the tube is, so you don't want to turn on the light because you don't want to wake up your spouse and hey, that tube could potentially catch onto a door handle and rip everything out. So it's definitely a lot of the little things that we may not think about until we're actually in that situation. So we feel like we're ahead of the curve a little bit, just kind of solving that problem up front for a lot of people that are dealing with who are in the post-surgery position.
you absolutely are, and it's definitely giving people hope that, if I get this diagnosis, or even if have already been diagnosed, that I do have, things available for me to help me to feel comfortable, to help me to live as normal of a lifestyle as possible and as comfortable of a lifestyle as possible. What are some other feedback that you've received from people who have taken advantage of this wonderful clothing line that you've invented?
Well, one areas of feedback we get are patients who are getting chemotherapy. And we have shirts or clothing that has access for their chemotherapy, whether it's a port here in their chest, or whether it's a PICC line in their arm, and they go into the chemotherapy centers, the oncology office or the chemo treatment center in the hospital or the ambulatory surgery center, and they talk about how cold it is and they're not feeling that great, and often they're anemic as a result of the chemotherapy and they're just freezing in there. With our clothing, the nurses are able to safely, easily access their port site or their IV site, and they're able to stay warm and comfortable and not having to put a hospital gown on, and they just feel so much better about it. So that's another area that we've just gotten wonderful reports from people.
I love that. And I'm going to just share a story with you as to not only just to share it with you, but to share it with our audience as well. How this can benefit not only breast cancer patients or dialysis patients, but a wide array of people. My son, who's 25, he has Crohn's disease. And so he has to get infusions, every 8 weeks. And those infusions can last for up to 4 hours at a time. And when he first received it, I was going to the infusion treatments with him, and because he was diagnosed at 18. So I was going to the treatment centers with him, and it was just like you said, it was cold in there. They would tell him off the bat to wear short sleeves. And, then he did have a bout with anemia, a heavy bout with anemia. And so I have pictures of him, wearing a winter cap with a, little ball, trying to keep himself warm. And it was very,
Right.
it was very trying for him to kind of, have the short sleeves on and sit in there for 4 hours. So your clothing will even be beneficial for those type of situations. When you have to get your infusion, like you said, you can stay warm in the center because oftentimes they are cold, and you can stay warm, still be stylish, and be comfortable during that time that you're sitting there receiving your infusion. So again, I can't thank you enough for making this line. It's benefiting everyone across the board. And I'm about to tell him about it in this interview too. I mean, he may even get a couple of pieces for the holidays. Now, in addition to what you've invented so far, you've also invented a unique piece of clothing for those with stomach troubles that may trigger embarrassing odors caused by gassy foods. So can you elaborate on that type of clothing?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a type of product, and I'll let Collin talk about some of the science behind it here in a minute. But as you know, the name of our company is Stitches Medical, like getting a stitch, and stitch in clothing or a stitch in you. That's why it's kind of a great mix word between the medicine part and the clothing part. And so stitchesmedical.com is our main company. And within that, we do produce clothing for a wide range of medical issues. And so one of the common comments I would get in my many years in private practice, I would be about to leave the room with a patient, and I would say, is there anything else that you'd like to ask me about before we finish today? And it was amazing how often people would say to me, both men and women, and they would say to me, well, yes, doc, there's one more thing. What can I do about this gas? And so this was often people with intestinal problems. It may be Crohn's disease, it may be ulcerative colitis, it may be bariatric surgery, weight loss surgery, that leaves people with, or it can be something as simple as lactose intolerance, and they've been putting too much cream in their coffee. But there's a variety of things that can cause people to have excess gas. Passing some gas is normal. Absolutely. You can't eliminate it all. People try all kinds of things, popping pills and taking liquids and trying to avoid them. And it's often embarrassing, and they're in a situation that they want to fix it. And so Collin and I were talking about the great need for that. So Collin did a lot of research, and Collin, I'll let you talk about the product and how that came about.
Yeah. And, like my dad was saying about how we always wanted to innovate products based off of what patients were asking for. And so we wanted to address this issue that people wanted a non-invasive solution to solving this issue of odorous gas. And so we developed a pair of underwear. It's called Tootles, and it's underwear that actually filters out the smell of flatulence. And it's stylish, it's comfortable. It's, a lot of people think, is this like a diaper? It's not at all. It's a very There's, boxer briefs for men. There's, high waist and low waist styles of underwear for women. And the way that it works is that it's a combination of organic bamboo cotton with activated carbon in the knit form, or activated charcoal. Those are both synonymous terms. And as gas passes through this combination of fabrics, it filters out the hydrogen sulfide, which hydrogen sulfide is what makes gas smell. And you typically see activated carbon in a lot of industrial settings, such as water purification plants and sewage treatment centers. And we realized that if we just take activated carbon that is supposed to filter against hydrogen sulfide, and we just bring it into the knit form so that's comfortable for clothing, we can apply this technology right into an undergarment. And so it took a while for us to test and figure it out, and we got it to work, and it's been working amazing. And the customer feedback has just been fantastic. And in fact, a lot of customers, they say to us all the time that, you're giving me a lot of confidence just to go about my day. And in fact, you're saving my relationship, and even my spouse needs to have a pair too. It's just it's part of the whole process. So it's a sister brand to Stitches Medical. So you can find these products on a separate website, weartootles.com. But
it's like wear it, WEAR, weartootles.com. So it's we and it's been, again, we love getting feedback from our patients and our customers, but we really see a lot of them as patients. But many of the people particularly purchasing the Tootles underwear at Wear Tootles, they are just everyday people. They're not having any true medical problem. They just want to control the odor of that gas and go out and be out there in comfort, whether they're at the now we have football season starting and the tailgating that they're doing, and they're eating a little too much of those spicy back ribs, and now they're not looking around for a dog to blame or something.
Right, exactly. And even like you said, during something every day, such as pregnancy, because I know with, I believe one of my sons, my youngest son, I experienced just gas out of control. And so, like you said, having something like that to be able to have that confidence and not have to worry about it as you are out and about, you're at work, you're at this grocery store, you're out with your family and friends or gatherings. Yes, makes a huge difference. I just want to ask you all about the different, if you could just give us a high level overview of the different sizes and colors that you have as well, and the different styles that you have with not only the wear tools, but also with your clothing.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So with Stitches, right now we offer a variety of different colors. For instance, for our post-surgery camisole for women, we have beige, white, black, and gray for those colors, and we offer sizes from small all the way to triple XL. And for the men's dialysis shirts or PICC line access shirts, there's white, black, gray, and navy. And right now with Tootles, we offer it in black because that's what people tend to like to wear. But later this year, keep your eyes out. We'll be having a few more colors come out. And again, those sizes go from small all the way to triple XL.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned that you do have more on the horizon for us. What else are you planning to expand with the line? Or should people be on the lookout for much more colors or designs or prints? What can we expect from Stitches Medical in the coming future?
Yeah, we're going to be coming out with again. We're always looking to expand our product line and as well as our colors, just because hey, if you're someone that doesn't like black, then we want to be able to be able to address what people want. And so and with the men's Tootles, right now we have the boxer briefs. We will also be coming out with a new style of just regular briefs. And then we're actually coming out with another interesting product this year in terms of using our activated carbon technology that we were able to patent through Tootles. And from a lot of our patient feedback, they've been asking if we can do a leak-proof underwear as well for men and for women, also using our our odor technology. So not only can it absorb any of those leakages that both men and women can deal with for a variety of reasons, but also using our activated carbon technology to be able to mask the smell as well. So that's something that we're working on, and we hope to be launching that this year. So again, we got to keep the eyes out.
Yeah,
And
that
with fall
sounds.
and with fall coming, we are going to be in the Tootles product, the Wear Tootles. We're going to be releasing some colors. We're going to have those actually very soon. They're going to be coming out to increase the, we like to have a variety. Most people wear a variety, and so we want to make that available. That's some of the feedback we've gotten and requests, so we are responding to that.
Wonderful. Sounds amazing. And lastly, for the two of you, like you said, you both have had face-to-face as well as, other interaction with patients, breast cancer patients, dialysis patients. What type of words of encouragement would you, both of you, like to give to those patients, not only now for Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up, but also dialysis patients as well? You guys have seen a lot of things firsthand. You've made this wonderful clothing to help with those patients. What's some words of encouragement you'd like to give them right now?
The words that I have for people are and it's a little different, whether it is an acute illness you're dealing with, such as having a tumor or a cancer removed, and then we're hoping to make that just a bump in your life. That's what our goal is to say, we understand. I've been through it now myself. Not only did I take care of thousands of patients with multiple medical problems, but then have had some myself. And you want to make that not the center of your life, but just a bump in the road. And I encourage people and that's I encourage people to really look past their disease when they possibly can. Now, there's other times where, such as your son, you have Crohn's disease, and it's something that he'll deal with intermittently throughout his life. And that's the same for people on dialysis. Often that it may be something that you're going to face every week, 3 times a week, getting dialyzed for the rest of your life. And so even with that, our encouragement is, don't make that the focus of your life. Look for other things. And that's why this clothing is so beneficial, because we want to make you more comfortable. We want to make it so that you still feel good when you get dressed, and that you can look outside and say, whether it's raining, you may love the rain, or the sun shining, love the sun. Go out, do something, be active, enjoy your friends, your family, what you do have. And always, we all need to be reminded to look at that cup half full whenever we can. And even when there's only a little bit of hope, we just want to focus on that little bit of hope. And so that's the joy we have for people, is try to experience that. And we're going into a holiday season, which can bring great joy, but it can also bring sadness when things aren't going perfectly. And so we just want to add a little bit to your life so that you can look at the positive side.
And just to add on to what my dad was saying, that's part of the concept of our brand is to bring dignity into the process. And so where our clothing is, we we designed it in a way so that it's like your normal clothing that you're wearing. You're not wearing a gown, you're not wearing a diaper, you're wearing clothing that you would normally wear because you are, you know, a human being. You're not, you know, the medical condition doesn't define you as a person. And now it is something that you deal with, and it's something that you address, but it's something that you know, it doesn't define your life. And so so we really our sentiment is to be comfortable in the process and be positive, and you know, you want to go out, you know, in your normal day and wear clothes that look good. You want to look good. You want to feel good. And I think those are the messages that we really want to push for a lot of the people managing these medical conditions.
We have three words that we love to use when we're designing clothing, and Collin and I meet regularly, and we talk about the patient feedback we get. We talk about how things can be improved. We talk about new products, and there's three words that we want to be able to attach to every piece of clothing that we do. And we repeat them over and over, and we remind ourselves, and that's comfort, dignity, and style. So those three words are what we really want to offer with our company.
That is wonderful. I love the inspiration that you shared there, the encouragement for people. Like you said, comfort and style, dignity. Absolutely. Thank you so much for inspiring people to keep going with their illnesses and conditions, and just to continue to keep going, living their life. Like you said, their illness does not have to define them. You all are blazing that trail for the patients and caregivers as well, to help them to stay positive and to keep focused on the days ahead. So kudos to you. We appreciate everything that you're doing with your clothing lines. And I just want to let everyone know, for more information on the clothing lines and to see everything they have to offer, as well as to make purchases for yourself or your loved ones, you can visit the websites stitchesmedical.com as well as weartootles.com, and we will have both of those links right below. Again, that's stitchesmedical.com and weartootles.com. Definitely check out both websites. Check out the clothing. You're going to love it. I'm sure that it's something there for everyone. I want to thank both of you for joining me today to share about your clothing lines. And again, just thank you for all that you're doing and continue to do for the health community. And we look forward to hearing more about your company and everything that you're expanding in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.